the Saturday wrap. The Saturday wrap for Saturday, the 18th of April, 2026. Possibly live from Bedwas, Caerphilly, or Blackwood, dependent on when you watch this. This was my week. Um, the things, the political things, the beery things, the planting things, a little bit of the weathery things, and foodie things as well. Anyway, let us start with the word or phrase of the week. And last week it was ceasefire. And now we seem to have one, possibly two. Although this might have changed by the time you watch this. Anyway, this week it's contingency. I'm going to come back to the actual bones of it, but everyone is kind of thinking we better do things. Who knows what's going to happen? We might as well buy as many rolls of toilet roll as we can, because that proved effective. Anyway, it might be wise not to go crazy, but just to get a little bit. What happens when things go wrong? What can we do? Yeah. Anyway, the app of the week. I think I've mentioned Nano Banana before, and Gemini, and now Gemini is out for the Mac. And apart from one annoying thing, i.e., it auto logs in, and if you remove it, it auto logs in again. It is kind of wonderful. Nano Banana 2, I believe, is the text to image, and boy, does it work well. And I get a little bit extra above the free level because I do have an account with Google and I do pay for extra storage and such like. But I really need more tokens, but times are hard. However, whether you're on a Mac or whether you use it through a web browser or on iOS or Android, Gemini is rather wonderful. The thing of the week. Well, I don't know if you remember, but climate emergency, carbon dioxide. Now there's a bit of an emergency because we're running out of carbon dioxide. Turns out carbon dioxide is not all bad. And you need it for food, and you need it for, well, fire extinguishers for the thing, and you need it for coolant, and it's well, the UK government is now reopening a carbon dioxide plant that closed a couple of months ago, I believe. What a difference 2 months make. Anyway, yeah, carbon dioxide is great because it's in beer, it's in Pepsi Max plus lime, and keg beer as well. Also, the thoughts. Aviation gas or kerosene as we know it as. Apparently there's only 6 weeks left of it. And while you might think, well, that's high summer, that's people going on their holidays, a lot of food comes in that way. A lot of high value goods come in that way. A lot of trade full stop. And when it runs out, it kind of you're in trouble. KLM are already cutting European flights, and if the flights become more expensive than they are to fly, it ain't gonna happen. Let me link that back with carbon dioxide and contingency. Yeah. Be prepared, maybe. The song of the week. Well, the song of the week usually is last minute thing, whatever, but I came up with this last Saturday morning, and I was in the John Wallace Linton in Newport, and I was watching some of the bar staff actually delivering the food out. And it came to me immediately. And it's a David Lee Roth song from an album called A Little Ain't Enough, 1991, and it's Sensible Shoes. It isn't a bad song, to be perfectly honest, and I was just sitting there drinking a fine ale, watching, well, full Englishes be delivered by mainly women in sensible shoes, and they were working their guts out. And I say thank you for that, although I didn't have any food. But sensible shoes, Diamond Dave, who can't sing anymore. Ah, such a day. Anyway, let us get back to the week that was. Last Friday, macOS updates, which snuck out. And well, now I've got two. Had to put them on like the wind. Saturday, as you already know, I was in Newport. Went to the Harbour Fish Bar. They make wonderful chips. Wonderful chips. Maris Piper potatoes, by the way. Ended up in Weird Dad's, where Captain Grokey, he said, try this White Hag beer with cider, fermented in Chardonnay French barrels. Tastes like a gueuze. Absolutely like a gueuze. My highest scoring rating of the year. Weird Dad's in Newport. Not weird at all. Anyway, Sunday, my TV asked for an update. Tizen. I haven't seen Tizen mentioned for ages. Well, at least it is being supported, which isn't bad. Monday, more compost, 2 bags outside Aldi. Yeah. Um, Religion on Monday. Apparently, a president had some pictures done of him by AI that made him look like maybe a religious symbol, and a religious leader said, you can't do that. And there was tons of religion going on, to be perfectly honest, and still going on. There you go. Tuesday, back to February weather-wise. It was cold and wet and blowy and yeah, whatever. However, I had, and I think I got this for the last contingency, a tin of curry. It was a bit thin, actually, but the chicken was very nice. So there might be lots of tins of beans, the odd curry, and soup, because tin stuff tends to last longer. Anyway, Wednesday, actually Tuesday, but Wednesday, Patch Tuesday. Lots of patches that came out of LLMs. That's Windows, by the way, and you will have Windows, Office, Microsoft 365, whatever it's called, updates as well. But there you go. Wednesday, I had a day off. It was an emergency Beano. I ended up in the Malcolm uphill. I took my time over the beer, he says, scratching his face. And then I had wings. And then there were thunderstorms. Who knew? Thursday, used some of the compost. Planted some blue Danube main crop potatoes, Hungarian blight resistant. And today, Friday, the first Casablanca's first earlies that I put in. They're poking through. There will be earthing up going on over the weekend, I have no doubt. Yeah, looking forward to the weekend. Bit of a Beano situation going on. Multiple locations, buses involved. I think there's a food festival in Caerphilly, so that'll cause chaos. Anyway, have a nice weekend. It's going to be sunny, although colder next week overnight. Anyway, cheers and comments, as always, very welcome. Bye bye.